Hi, my name is Jeff Gravitt. I'm the Emergency Services Director for Salt Lake County, and I'm here to provide a short training video on your role as the Chief Executive of your community and the process you should follow when disaster strikes. As the Chief Executive Officer for your community, you have a duty to protect life and property when a state of emergency or local emergency has been declared. The Utah State Statute and your local ordinance authorize you to exercise certain powers and use all available resources to manage these emergencies. Disasters do not respect jurisdictional boundaries and will demand multi-agency coordination to effectively and efficiently prioritize and coordinate resources. Consistent with Presidential Directive 5 and the National Incident Management System, these incidents will require the assistance of multiple agencies, facilities, equipment, and the use of mutual aid agreements. The key to a successful response and recovery will be our ability to organize and communicate quickly. To meet this need, the Council of Governments signed a resolution on August 1st, 2013 to form a multi-agency coordination group identified as the Chief Executive Council. Some of the key elements achieved by creating the council are notification, situational awareness, and the ability to make policy and prioritize resources for the affected areas. I believe the systems and process contained in this training video will provide you with the necessary tools for you to be successful when disaster strikes. The entire process of setting up the Multi-Agency Coordination Group or Chief Executive Council is centered on communication and the ability for the chief executives of each jurisdiction to talk with each other. In the next few minutes, I will provide an overview of the process used by emergency management professionals in Salt Lake County to provide notification to chief executives, situational awareness updates, and how to stand up the multi-agency coordination group. When a disaster or other significant event occurs, it is imperative that our chief executive officials are made aware of the situation and provided with enough information to make good decisions. There are several ways that you may learn about a disaster that occurs or may occur in the immediate future. You may experience it yourself or perhaps see it on the news or other social media. You may also receive a notification from your emergency manager to apprise you of the situation. In Salt Lake County, a system has been established to provide rapid notification using telephone and email services. When activated, you may receive an emergency notification in the form of a phone call, a text message, and/or an email from the Emergency Notification Center. Your emergency manager has already set up your contact information in the emergency notification system for you. To enhance your level of preparedness, it is recommended that you take a moment and set your mobile device up to better recognize these emergency notifications. Here are the general instructions of how to set up your mobile device. First, set up a new contact using whatever method applies to your particular device. Name that contact emergency notification. As a contact number, the reason for this is the dispatch center uses this notification number to populate the caller ID field. Once saved to your device, you'll be able to instantly recognize when you're receiving an emergency notification call. With your phone set to receive notifications, you'll be able to receive information and instruction as needed. You may be asking, that's great, but what if the phone service is down? Then how am I going to get information? In the case that local phone service is unavailable, you may be able to use a satellite phone to call into the Salt Lake County Emergency Services phone bridge to get more information and updates. You're probably wondering what the Salt Lake County Emergency Phone Bridge is. Think of the conference bridge as a virtual meeting space where chief executives can meet to receive initial briefings, share information, and ask questions. Calling the conference bridge is easy. The first step is to dial toll-free 1-866-920-8595 or 1-702-473-1442. Once you call in, you'll be prompted to enter a PIN number. The PIN number is changed occasionally, especially after a significant event. This helps us keep the use of the bridge limited to those that need to be involved. Check with your local emergency manager for the current PIN number. We will also include the current PIN number and bridge number in messages sent from the call notification system. Once you're connected to the bridge, be prepared to provide your name, agency, and title to the meeting host. Callers may already be involved in a discussion or briefing, or you may hear a recorded message providing you with more information about the situation or event. During the course of an emergency incident or event that affects multiple jurisdictions or agencies, it may become necessary to set up a multi-agency coordination group, or MAC. One of your key roles and responsibilities as the Chief Executive Officer for your agency is to participate as a member of that MAC. A MAC group is comprised of administrators, executives, or their designees who are authorized to represent or commit agency resources and funds. MAC groups may also be known as multi-agency committees or emergency management committees. A MAC group does not have any direct incident involvement and will often be located some distance from the incident sites or even function virtually. A MAC group may require a support organization for its own logistics and documentation needs. To manage incident-related decision support information such as tracking critical resources, situation status, and intelligence or investigative information, and to provide public information to the news media and public. The number and skills of its personnel will vary by incident complexity, activity levels, needs of the MAC group, and other factors identified through agreements or by preparedness organizations. A MAC group may be established at any level, national, state, or local, or with any discipline, emergency management, public health, critical infrastructure, or the private sector. You may be asking what multi-agency coordination is. Well, multi-agency coordination is a process that allows all levels of government and all disciplines to work together more efficiently and effectively. Multi-agency coordination occurs across the different disciplines involved in incident management, across jurisdictional lines, or across levels of government. Multi-agency coordination can and does occur on a regular basis whenever personnel from different agencies interact in such activities as preparedness, prevention, response, recovery, and mitigation. A multi-agency coordination system is not simply a physical location or facility. Rather, the MAC system defines business practices, standard operating procedures, and protocols by which participating agencies will coordinate their interactions, provides support, coordination, and assistance with policy-level decisions to the incident command system structure managing an incident. Cooperating agencies and organizations may develop a MAC system to better define how they will work together and how to work together more efficiently. A MAC system will generally perform common functions during an incident. However, not all of the system's functions will be performed during every incident, and functions may not occur in any particular order. Primary MAC system functions include situation assessment, incident priority determination, critical resource acquisition and allocation, interagency activities, and finally coordination. Another primary function outlined in the MAC system is a process or procedure to keep elected and appointed officials at all levels of government informed. Maintaining the awareness and support of these officials, particularly those from jurisdictions within the affected area, is extremely important, as scarce resources may need to be moved to an agency or jurisdiction with higher priorities. Remember that MAC systems are a combination of facilities, equipment, personnel, and procedures. A MAC system should identify facilities or locations such as a communication or dispatch center, EOC, City Hall, a virtual location, to house the system activities. These facilities identified depend on the anticipated functions of the system. A MAC system should also identify and acquire the equipment needed to accomplish system activities, such as computers, software, and communication devices. Typically, the personnel who are part of the MAC system include agency administrators or executives, or their appointed representatives who are authorized to commit agency resources and funds in a coordinated response effort. Personnel can also be authorized representatives from supporting agencies, non-governmental organizations, and the private sector who assist in coordinating activities above the field level. Lastly, procedures include process, protocols, assignments, and business practices that prescribe the activities, relationships, and functionality of the MAC system. Critical components include the interactive communication activities and associated implementation plans. These components are integrated into a common system with responsibility for coordinating and supporting domestic incident management activities. There is no single policy for activating the MAC system. Some possibilities for activation include when a unified command is established at the incident scene, when more than one jurisdiction becomes involved in the incident response, when the circumstances at the scene indicate that the incident could expand rapidly and involve cascading events, when similar past events have required multi-agency coordination, or when the chief executive requests the MAC system elements be activated. Establishing the priorities among ongoing incidents within the defined area of responsibility is another function of MAC systems. Typically, a process or procedure is established to coordinate with area or incident commands to prioritize the incident demands for critical resources. Additional considerations for determining priorities include the following: life-threatening situations, threat to property, high damage potential, incident complexity, environmental impact, economic impact, or other criteria established by the multi-agency coordination system. That concludes our training module for today. You've just had a brief training on the notification process prior to, during, and after a disaster, and how you'll be able to obtain additional situational awareness of the incident. You've also received some basic training on the concept and use of multi-agency coordination systems. If you still have questions, I would encourage you to meet with your agency's emergency management coordinator. As part of your continuing education and training, I would recommend the following online National Incident Management courses to help you become more familiar with your role and the roles of others during a disaster. These courses include IS 100, 200, 700, and IS 703. As emergency managers in the Salt Lake Valley, we hope that you have benefited from this brief training. We will be working to add additional training modules in the future to help give you the tools you'll need to prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters in your community.